Hello, my name is Ryan Atkinson, and this is my presentation on hay baling. So, during this lesson, we're going to learn and be able to identify the equipment needed to bale hay, and we're also going to learn and identify the different types of grasses, and also why animals need hay and stuff like that. So, our materials and equipment. We need a tractor, a truck, a trailer, diesel, cutters, rakers. You need square balers, round balers. You need all that stuff. And basically, the on top right here, this green John Deere would be a round baler, and then this red case would be a square baler. And there's two different types of bales, but that's mainly for like how much hay you need to feed, basically. And then of course you need diesel so you can run all your equipment. So why do we bale hay? We bale hay that way that animals that aren't out in the field, the ruminant animals, they get enough roughages. So whether you have horses, cattle, sheep, goats, or other livestock, good quality hay is an essential part of your diet, and it is important to choose only the best hay to feed your animals. And that just, again, helps with their ruminants, helps with their stomach, helps keep the good bacteria, scrubs the stomach and stuff. That's basically what hay does. And we also bale hay to keep land clean and keep the grass from growing right away. And if it's growing the right way, it also keeps like down here in the valley where I'm from, mesquite grows a lot, mesquite trees. And the only way to keep mesquite trees from growing is to really shred and cut your grass and maintain the land. And that's the only way you can do it. Depending on the animal, hay can make up 50% or more of its daily diet. And in the winter, most grazing animals consume even more hay because their access to adequate pasture is restricted. They don't get enough pasture, it gets colder. You need to give them hay bales because, well, like for example, in the picture with the horses up here, oh, sorry, up here, there's no hay, there's no grass or nothing. So, well, they have a round bale. And then a lot of other stuff is it's used for, like it's used for bedding and stuff for like pigs. So like in my ag barn, we had dirt and it wasn't the best ag barn for hogs, but it wasn't enclosed or anything. So when it gets cold, the only way you can really keep the pigs warm is, give them a little hay to lay in. And I mean, of course, it's a pain in the butt to clean, but we used to use hay like that all the time. Just so that way they have, something to lay in to keep them warm and stuff. But the main reason we use hay is for cattle, sheep, goats, horses, equines, anything with ruminants. And then here's the different kinds of bales. So on the left, you have a square bale. Square bales usually weigh like 40 to 60 pounds. They're not very heavy. But the whole point of a square bale is just for like if you have like a couple cows, like 2 cows, and you just need it for like a week, or if you have a horse or something that's just you don't need that much of it, like you have one horse, so it's just a hay bale will last you like a week. Or if you have goats and sheep, well, they don't eat as much hay per se as like a cow would, because of course cows and horses are way bigger. And then you have round bales, which is much larger. Round bales usually have, I believe, 40 to 60 square bales. And there's a lot. Yeah, they're about 40, 50 square bales, depending how big the round bale is. And then, there's also different kinds of ways to wrap the round bales and square bales. So, round bales, you can, like this is like a wrap. And what's that? That's meant for if it rains and stuff, the hay won't get it won't get wet. Because when the hay gets wet and it's held together, the hay in the middle will start to get mold. And then your animals can die from that. Horses, goats, cows, they can die from eating bad hay like that. So you need to make sure they're kept in like dry. So that's why you can't cut when it's wet, or you can't have stuff down when it's wet. So that's like a wrap. They also have wraps that's almost like a net wrap. So it's like a net, but it goes all the way around the round bale too. It just doesn't cover the sides, like the flat spherical sides on it. It doesn't cover like the flat sides on the side, but it does wrap all the way around it. And then you got, not old school, this is actually new. Technically, you have the wiring, which is just the little like twine that goes around it. And of course, you see how it goes around the square bale? It does that, but again, not on the flat sides, on the round bale. And I learned that actually they used to use like metal wire before, but the problem was if they didn't take it out right or whatever, well, they would eat. Or some people would get lazy and don't take the twine off and they just throw the bale there. The animals would eat the wire and stuff, and they're getting sick and dying and stuff. So that's never a good thing to have. And there are several different types of grass that you can use to feed. You have cold season grasses and you have warm season grasses. There are 7 different types of cold season grasses. You have bluegrass, which is very nutritious, is the most palatable to horses of all their grasses. So I actually learned that when I was like looking it up and stuff. Apparently horses like, what palatable means how much the animal likes the food. So like if a horse really likes that kind of hay, which apparently bluegrass is the most, like the hay they like the most. Then you have fescue, orchard grass, reed canary grass, ryegrass, spoo, brome grass, and timothy. Then you have warm season grasses. You have Bahia grass, Digiti grass, Bermuda grass, blue stem, gamma grass, Johnson grass, Indian grass, sorghum and sorghum times Sudan hybrid. You got switchgrass and teff. There are a lot of different kinds of grasses. And of course, different kinds of grasses grow different places. For example, Bermuda grass is a popular grass in the South. There's Bermuda grass coastal, and then there's like Tifton 85. Bermuda grass coastal is what we bale, because we do bale hay, and we bale a lot of coastal hay down here. But we just call it coastal. Of course, we're not going Bermuda grass coastal. It's just we bale coastal hay, So we have a lot of coastal hay, and that's good for the animals and stuff. A lot of animals like that, and the only problem with coastal hay though is if you let it grow too long and it gets too stemmy and stuff, it will it can like kind of get them. It can give horses colic and stuff like that, which is again, horses die from colic, so that's never a good thing to give to your animals or to let them get. And then you have switchgrass, which is another like bunch grass, and they're not. You can't let that one grow too much because, of course, the nutrient levels drops once the seed heads form. So it must be harvested early. And then, so let me explain how you bale hay, and I'll go back in the presentation to kind of show you. So how you bale hay, for the most part, is you need to find a proper piece of land, right? You need to make sure there's enough hay, enough grass growing. You need to make sure it's clean and stuff like that. Once you do that, you can take your tractor, which a nice size tractor would be like this. There should be one, right? This case right here. That's a really nice size tractor. You would want that. And first things first, well, you're gonna have to hook up a cutter to it. And once you hook up a cutter, you'll cut all the grass, and then you have to rake it. And once you rake it, you have to cut it all. Then you have to rake it with the raker. And then after that, you're gonna have to, what's it called? Now okay, my bad. Before you rake it, you don't necessarily have to rake it. You don't always have to. It can just be like I'm gonna rake it because there's not enough, like the grass isn't thick enough, or you can rake it just so you don't have to do so many like lines with your tractor. It all depends. And then after you rake it, you'll hook up your baler to it. So of course, from there you're gonna want to choose. Do I want to do square bills? Am I gonna want like a lot of square bills, or do I want like a couple round bills? So for us, it depends on like what the customer wants. If it's our land, of course, it's what we need and what we want, and like what we think we need to sell or what we're gonna sell more of. But if it's a customer, like say, they're paying us to make bales for them, then of course it's up to like it's their choice if they want square bales or if they want round bales or etc. And then basically you're just gonna drive. Depending on a round baler, you have to go slower than on a square baler. On a square baler, you can go faster. On a round baler, you're gonna have to go like 5, 10 miles an hour. On a square baler, you can go a little bit faster. Not much, a little bit. So then you'll bale hay, and after that, well, you need a truck and trailer so you can load up your hay and take it home, or if you're gonna go take it to the barn or wherever you're gonna take it. And then of course you sell it or you give it to your animals. And that's how you bale hay, basically. So for the summer, in this lesson, you should learn about the equipment used to bale hay, why we bale hay, and all the different types of grasses. Which again, there are 15 different types of grasses. So that was my presentation. Thank you. Any questions?